Peter was absolutely horrified that this girl knew his secret. He'd never even talked to her. He didn't even know her name. And yet, she had found out his greatest secret. One that even some of the closest people to him didn't find out for months. Peter narrowed his eyes at her. She must have done something. What if she was working for an enemy? She had seemed quite friendly with the gang back in the other alley. Not wanting to take any risks, especially after she knew who he was, Peter suddenly sprung on her, pinning her to the wall with one hand on her shoulder. He knew his grip was strong enough. She was taken aback for a moment before glaring at him. "Let me go." "How do you know who I am?" "You aren't that good at hiding it, Parker." "What are you talking about?" "I heard you talking about it with your friend in gym. I was behind you." Peter moved his hands off of Shay's shoulders, his cheeks reddening in embarrassment. "I thought no one could hear us." Shay knew he was right, of course. No normal person would have been able to hear their conversation. He didn't need to know that, though. So instead, she just shrugged and said, "You were talking at a pretty loud level, but I was the closest to you too. I'm sure nobody else heard." "Oh, okay. Thanks. Peter twiddled his thumbs together. "You aren't gonna tell anyone, are you?" "I understand your reasons for keeping it a secret. You have friends, family." Shay nodded, locking his gaze in hers. "I respect your choice to keep your identity a secret, and I'm not going to tell anyone." Shay places her hand over her heart. "Promise." "Thanks. I mean it. Thanks a lot." "No problem, but you should probably get out on patrol now." She began to walk away before turning around and saying, "Make sure not to get too paranoid about staying out late or anything tonight. I feel like reminding you now that you've got no homework due tomorrow online. It's all due in 2 days, on Sunday or on Monday." At his confused face, she added, "I'm in all the same classes as you are." Peter nodded. Shay turned again and continued her way out of the alley, leaving the other teenager to change. When she stopped as she heard his voice behind her. "Wait!" Peter called. "What's, your name?" Shay hesitated for a moment before turning back and answered, "Shay." "Nice to meet you, Shay." "Nice to meet you too, Peter." She was gone before he could respond. If there was one thing that Peter Parker didn't expect to happen today, it was the strange girl who sits behind him in his first period finding out that he was Spider-Man. If there was one more thing that Peter Parker didn't expect to happen today, it was getting shot in the middle of the night on patrol. Peter was in one of the less fortunate neighborhoods, one that he frequented because of the sheer amount of crime there was, and was just about to head home when he heard a scream. He swung over, saved the girl, and then at approximately 11:37 p.m., he was shot in the shoulder. Karen had told him. She had also mentioned that somehow the bullet had managed to take down the communication system, meaning that he couldn't call anyone. Peter rubbed up the guy, had the girl he saved call the police, and then go out before anyone else showed up. He made it 2 streets over, not even out of the neighborhood, when the pain in his arm became too unbearable, and he collapsed in an alley. "Karen," he managed out, trying not to groan from the pain. "What do I need to do to stop the blood?"
"I'd advise a compression web, which will halt the blood flow for a small period of time so medical attention can be sought."
Her voice calm as ever. "Okay then, Karen. Compression web." Peter's voice was shaking as the web shooter combination changed and he aimed it at his wound. He pressed the button on the web shooter, releasing a burst of webs that suddenly put quite a bit of pressure on his area of pain. All right, Karen. What next?" Peter asked.
"I'd advise seeking medical attention as soon as possible. The bullet should be removed quickly. Especially since, with your enhanced healing, there is a chance that the skin might heal over the wound before the bullet is removed, which is not advisable."
Peter felt his stomach drop. He knew he wasn't going to be able to get up without help, but his communication's down. He was mulling over his options when he heard a voice from further down in the alley. "Parker?" Peter moved his head from its position on the ground, took a look over in the direction the voice was coming from. The alley was dark, but Peter's suit gave him night vision, allowing him to see the features on the person. It was the girl from earlier. "Shay," he breathed out. "Hey, Peter tried to sit up, attempting not to make sounds of pain at the movement. "What are you doing here?" Shay didn't answer, instead narrowing her eyes as she spotted the compression web on his shoulder, a small amount of red beginning to soak through it. "You got shot, didn't you?" Peter lowered his head, having no explanation as his thoughts swirled. "Yes." Shay sighed and stepped closer to him. She bent down, wrapped her arm around his shoulders, and pulled him up into a standing position. Peter groaned at the movement, but he did his best not to resist. "Come on, Spider-Man. Let's get you somewhere safe." Shay helped him walk, holding him up as they walked down the alley. When they reached the end of it, Shay yanked down a ladder, and Peter gathered enough strength to climb up after her. She helped him up the rest of the stairs until they got to the top floor, probably only the 5th floor in total, before she pulled him through an open window, shutting it as soon as they were both inside. "Let's get you on the couch, Parker." Shay led Peter through the dark room before stopping and gently pushing him onto the cushioned seat. Peter relaxed as he felt the soft seat. However, Peter wasn't prepared for Shay to address another person other than him, and he was even less prepared when a disembodied voice responded. "Alice, what do I need to do to help Peter with his gunshot wound?"
My scanners are not able to sense the location of the wound, but Mr. Parker should start by getting into a horizontal position to allow you to operate on him.
"Okay, Peter." Shay flicked on a light and directed her attention to the shocked boy on the couch. "Lay down, you heard her." Shay glanced up at the ceiling before speaking again, this time not to Peter. "The wound is on his right shoulder. Peter put a compression web on it to stem the bleeding for now."
I'd advise removing the compression web and retrieving tweezers to extract the bullet.
"Okay." Shay walked down the small hallway before turning into one of the rooms. Peter looked around him before he spoke. Hello?"
Hello, Parker.
"Who are you?"
My name is Alice.
"I'm guessing you're an AI."
Yes, you would be correct, Mr. Parker.
"Cool," Peter breathed. "Like Friday and Karen."
I am aware that Friday is an AI belonging to Anthony Stark. However, I am not sure who Karen is. Could you please enlighten me?
"Yeah, sure," Peter said. "Karen's my AI. She's in my suit."
Ah, I see. Thank you.
Peter was surprised that Alice sounded so human. "Alice, does your name stand for anything?"
Yes, it does. Would you like to know?
"Yes, please."
Artificial and logical intelligence with comprehension and efficiency.
She responded quickly. "Oh, cool." Shay suddenly appeared back in the hallway after Peter's last words, holding an entire box full of all sorts of things. "Okay," she said, as she set the box down on the dining table against the opposite wall. "I've got the first aid bin. Tweezers, you said?"
Yes, tweezers should be used to extract the bullet. After that, use bandages to wrap around the wound and stem the bleeding so Mr. Parker's enhanced healing can at least start the healing process. After that, however, I'd advise contacting someone who can assist Mr. Parker. Viable options include a close family member or a guardian of Mr. Parker, or Anthony Stark.
Alice exclaimed. "All right." Shay approached the boy with her small tool in hand. "Peter, do you need any painkillers? Will normal painkillers even work for you?" "No, but I'll be fine," Peter responded. "Let's just get this over with." First off, he pinned us to a wall. Second of all, he caught a strange girl again. Third off, he got shot. Fourth off, he's talking to Alice and geeking over her while he's shot in the shoulder. Oh my god, this episode was crazy. Whoa, this chapter was crazy. Oh my god. Chapter 5 just took the cake. Okay. Whew, I don't think I could handle chapter 6. You know, what about you guys? I don't know. Whew, okay. Well, I gotta go since I have homework, but stay tuned for chapter 6. Okay, bye! Also, I'm semi-sick, so sorry if my voice sounded weird this video. Okay, bye now. Love you.